discussing about isoquants. So what is meant by isoquant we were discussing. Um, so it is similar to that of indifference curve. So indifference curve is that how much a customer is going to derive utility from the combination of two products is exhibited through indifference curve. Whereas isoquant's curve is that it going to show the combination of two factors. So here only two factors will be utilized by the producer. So with the combination of these two factors or inputs, he is going to produce the product which is known as the output. So where the output is going to remain constant throughout, whatever might be the increase or decrease in the factors he is utilizing, he is going to achieve the same level of output. Then it is known as isoquant. The table which is going to represent, so always the table which is representing no that combination of two factors which gives the same level of output is known isoquant schedule, and the curve which is going to represent based upon the table you're going to plot on the graph, so which shows you the same level of output achieved whenever the both the combination of two factors has been utilized, is going to achieve the same level of output is exhibited through isoquant curve. So here labor and capital are the two factors of production which is used by the manufacturer and is going to give the same level of output. Isoquant map is that many isoquant curves put together, that consolidation aggregate is known as isoquant map, where the larger, the higher isoquant curve, it will represent the higher level of output, and the lower level isoquant curve, it represents the lower level of output. It is similar to that of indifference curve. The basic difference between indifference curve and isoquant curve, if you see, indifference curve, it is done with respect to consumers, okay, and isoquant curve is done with respect to producer, okay. There two good indifference curve, if you see, two goods are consumed by the consumer, okay, only two products you are going to, two commodities you are going to take there. How he is going to derive the utility, you are going to find out with the help of indifference curve. Whereas in isoquant curve, if you see, here he is going to use two factors only, okay, labor and capital, like that two factors inputs only is going to utilize, and here you are going to find out how you are going to achieve the same level of output. So this is the basic difference between the two. Their customer wants to derive the utility satisfaction from the from the two products. Here the producer, he has to get maximum productivity, maximum output with least cost. Okay, so with least cost, how he is going to achieve that, how he is going to use both the inputs and how he is going to increase his output, that you are going to represent through isoquant. Okay, so how he is going to maximize his output. Okay, they're maximizing the satisfaction or utility level, they are maximizing the output level. So that is the isoquant curve. So higher level of their higher level of satisfaction, higher indifference curve will give higher level of satisfaction, low indifference curve will give lower level of satisfaction there. Here higher level of output is that higher isoquant curve, lower output gives you the lower isoquant curve. Okay, so assumptions is that only two combinations of factors are here utilized is only two. There are two products. In normal sense, you won't consume only two goods. But here also only two factors. If you utilize in your production, you cannot produce the output. Okay, so but here it has to be taken that only labor and capital you are utilizing in your business. Okay, so apart from that, you might use plant and machinery, everything. Without finance, you cannot, without plant and machinery, you cannot produce the product. Okay, other than that, raw materials are something you require for producing the product. But yes, telling here is that only two combination of two factors you are going to use for producing the product, and you are going to even if you vary also, it should give the same level of output. That is the isoquant curve actually. So and then there no, you will be using marginal rate of substitution. Your marginal rate of technical substitution. Marginal rate of substitution means you are going to substitute one good for the other. Okay, so suppose in indifference curve, you are going to use this marginal rate of substitution means if you are going to consume two kinds of product. Okay, so if you are going to consume two kinds of product, any product, apple, oranges, mango, something, or even biscuits and milk, any kind of product, if you are going to increase the consumption of 1 unit of one product, take for example milk, you want to reduce the consumption of 1 unit of biscuits. So similarly, if you want to increase the consumption of biscuit, 1 unit of biscuit, you want to reduce the 1 unit consumption of your milk. Okay, so that is the marginal rate of substitution there in indifference curve. Similarly, your marginal rate of technical substitution you are using. Here two combinations, they are using combination of two factors. No, if he is going to increase 1 unit of labor, then you want to reduce the 1 unit of capital. Okay, so it's like an opportunity cost only. If you're going to raise the one thing, you have to forego or lose the other unit. Okay, so if you're going to increase 1 unit of capital, then you want to reduce the 1 unit of labor. So if you see in this table itself, you can understand labor. If you want at the minimum, then capital you can increase. Labor at the maximum means capital you are decreasing, so that you achieve the same level of output throughout. Okay, so this is the actually marginal rate of technical substitution. You want to substitute one factor with that of the other. If you want to increase 1 unit of one factor, you want to lose the 1 unit of the other factor. So these are the assumptions of isoquant curve. So properties of isoquant curve, if you see, the two isoquant curves, it will not cut each other. As we told, one which is lying above will give the maximum output. One which is at the lower level, it will give the lower level of output. And if you see, these two will not touch each other, x-axis, either it will not touch the x-axis or the y-axis, your isoquant curve. And it is convex to the origin. It cannot touch cut each other. It will not touch either axis. Okay. All will be, it is that it looks like um, it will not touch the either x-axis or the y-axis. It will not intersect also. Okay, it is always a negatively sloped. The properties of isoquant curve is that it will neither touch x-axis or y-axis. It will not intersect each other. Okay, and then they are convex to the origin. They are always negatively sloped. Okay, so from left to right, they are negatively sloped, and they may not be parallel to each other also. So these are the properties of isoquant curve. Next comes the ISO cost line. So this is somewhat similar to that of the budget line. Okay, so budget line, what it is actually known as, budget line is otherwise known as the price line. Okay, so where consumers know if he wants to consume two kinds of products, he has to fix a budget. Okay, because his income is a major thing. Which in among the two products he has to choose one more and choose other one less, or he has to have a combination so that his income, if I have suppose 1,000 rupees in my hand and I want to spend either on food or entertainment or something, then I must see that which one can be spent more and which one can be spent less. I have to think over that, so that I am restricting myself because my budget constraint is only limited to 1,000 rupees. I want to spend only within that. So that is known as budget line. So cost line also, it is similar to that only. Okay. So whatever might be the combination of factors, there you are going to consume two products. Here two factors you are using. Okay. So this is from producer perspective we are thinking. Their consumer perspective, whatever we have seen so far, all those things are consumer perspective. Okay, two products consuming income this much, you have to restrict yourself, you have to spend below that, you have to spend accordingly, all those with respect to consumer. Here with respect to the producer, so their budget line, here ISO cost line. So this is the ISO cost line. So above that means he is out of his control. Okay, so out of his control, he cannot give the output. Okay, it is not possible beyond this capacity. So this is the line which shows the various combination of two factors. Here he is going to use two factors. One is the labor, other one is the capital. So he must have a mix of these two together so that his total expenditure is remaining constant throughout. Okay, so before this, whatever we have seen, no, ISO quant, ISO quant को ISO cost, what is the basic difference is ISO quant is going to have a mix of two factors, combination of two inputs he is going to have, and he is going to achieve same level of output there. Okay, but ISO cost is that he is going to have a combination of two factors, and he is going to see that take care of that is that his total expenditure or total cost spent towards that, no, for producing the product, it remains the same or constant throughout. Okay, so whatever might be the mix, labor more or capital less, or labor less and capital more, whatever might be the combination of two factors, his total expenditure or cost he spent, no, that is going to remain constant because he cannot spend more than that. So that is the like budget constraint here also you have. So with this input cost only he can produce the output. So that is the thing. So this the combination ABCD, or the combination of various factors with which he is going to spend, and his expenditure is going to remain constant or same throughout. Okay, so one which is beyond, no, it is it is going to increase his cost of production. Okay, so if he is want to increase more than that, no, then his cost of production will get increased, and which is not possible for him also to give efficient output. One which is below, no, he is not putting his factor to the best possible manner, it is that. Okay, so he is not putting his resources in the best possible manner to produce that level of output. Okay, so this is the various combinations of two factors. Then comes the producer's equilibrium. So how their consumers equilibrium, consumers equilibrium means it is a stage where you don't require, that is the it is like a saturation point actually. So for a consumer, if you see, if I'm going to consume a product, okay, so first unit if I am consuming, okay, so one plate of food if I am having, then second plate, or second plate itself, my satisfaction level will come down, right? So it will not be at the same as the first plate. Okay, similarly after consuming each and every additional unit, okay, so it will get to a saturation point. After that it will fall down, my satisfaction, utility level, everything will fall down. So that is the maximum stage where I won't have any urge to consume further. Okay, so that is the point where I don't want more to consume. Okay, I don't have that urge or that feel to consume more. So that is known as consumer's equilibrium. Producer's equilibrium is, it is the same thing that, so that is the point where he is going to achieve maximum output with the input. Okay, so his input cost will be minimum at that level, and his output is also he is also able to produce the efficient output with which he can achieve maximum profitability. If he is going to increase, no, beyond his capacity, his cost of production will get raised only. Okay, so this is the point where he can achieve the maximum output with least cost. Okay, least cost combination, what is meant by least cost, no? So least cost combination, that is the maximum output with minimum input cost he can produce, means that is least cost combination. So he is going to use two kinds of factors, capital, labor, like that. He is going to use factors of production in his manufacturing activity, and with which he feels that it is the time there you don't want to produce anymore, because it might increases cost of production. It might increases whatever he is spending now to accumulate a raw material or labor, whatever he uses for workforce for his job. So everything capital whatever he is putting, so it is the stage where he thinks that if there is no changes required at this situation, so that then it will increase, it might increase his cost of production or input cost. So that is the point where maximum he has achieved the profitability with the minimum cost. So this is the main attitude of any kind of businessman, no? So he wants to achieve maximum profitability. How consumer, no, he wants to achieve maximum satisfaction with less amount, with less price. He wants to achieve maximum satisfaction. Similarly, producer, no, he wants to achieve maximum profitability with minimum cost of production, with how to minimize his cost of production. He thinks about that only. So that is the stage. Producer's equilibrium means that is the stage where he is going to achieve the maximum profitability, maximum output with least cost combination of factors. Okay. So one, if it is going beyond this thing, no, equilibrium point, that is the stage where he cannot have a control over his production. His cost might increase. So all those things will come into picture. Okay. So this is the point where is whatever he has having in his hand, his resources is supporting him to meet out his output. Whatever he has planned, no, he can produce that efficiently with least cost at this point. If it is going beyond this point means yeah, his cost of production might get increased also. Okay, so that is known as producer's equilibrium. So definition is that where he gets this producer's equilibrium. So whenever if you want to produce 1,000 units means your cost of production should be kept minimum. Okay, you want to maximize your output, you want to minimize your input. So this is the cost are minimized for a given level of output. Okay, so whatever you have planned for your production activity, your cost should get minimized there. And similarly, when you want to maximize your output at the least cost, so this will be the attitude of any producer or any firm. So that is known as producer's equilibrium. Okay, so these are the topics which comes under the second unit. So second unit, if you see, all these are the major topics. In this major topics will be your law of diminishing marginal utility, indifference curve, and then law of variable proportions, and then your law of returns to scale. These are the four important topics that you might frequently get in your exams.